let me introduce you to our host this evening, Colin Gonsalves, who is a founder of ZenPath AI, and he's also the marketing director of Ascend Therapy for anxiety, depression, and stress. Now, he'll take over. If you have any questions, there's a couple of ways to do that. To bring it in, you can raise your hand if you're familiar with Zoom, which is on the bottom, your bottom screen, or you can type a question in, and we'll address it as soon as we find it, or as soon as we can, because these webinars take on a personality all their own. So, Colin, please go ahead. I'll collapse my screen.
Okay. Let's see here. Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, now, yeah.
Right. Are you seeing the presentation?
Yes.
All right, great. Okay. I'm not seeing the highlight around the window, so that's awesome. All right, good. Okay. Hi, everyone, and thanks, John and Score, for giving me the opportunity to present on AI. It's a subject matter that I'm truly passionate about. My name is Colin Gonsalves, and I run ZenPath AI. What I do is I help businesses understand AI and actually put it to work through coaching, consulting, and building out AI solution that fits their needs. So today we're going to dive into the topic of how small businesses can unlock the power of AI. So I want to share with you some simple real-world ways to make AI work for you. All right. Okay. So here's what we're going to cover today. First, we're briefly going to go over what an LLM is and how it works. And then I'll describe on how to use it effectively. We'll talk about its limitations and the workarounds to those limitations that make it more useful in real-world business settings. And finally, we'll go over some demos where you can actually see the AI in action. And I think once you see how it works, you will start imagining how you can apply it to your own business. Okay. All right. All right, so why does AI matter for small businesses? At the most basic level, it helps you save time, reduce errors, and gives your customers a better experience. And then it also gives you an edge over competitors. But here's another angle as well. It's important right now because a lot of big companies are actually struggling to integrate AI into their legacy systems. Their old infrastructure makes it slow and expensive to adapt. So small businesses and medium-sized businesses have the opportunity to they have an advantage of not having to deal with the legacy baggage, and it makes them more agile. So in many cases, that agility means you can actually put AI to work sooner and more effectively than the big corporations. Okay. So let's go over what is a large language model, or LLM for short. Okay. At its core, an LLM is basically an autocomplete on steroids. It's great at predicting the next word in a sequence. And why is that? It's because it's trained on huge amounts of text from books, articles, websites, journals, and then it's fine-tuned to make it more useful for people like us. All right. So in this illustration, I'm comparing, I'm using a CPU of a computer as an analogy, right? So where the LLM is like the central processing unit of a computer. And just like as a computer is connected to the mouse or a monitor, we can connect like audio, video as well. And then just like a computer can connect to a browser through Ethernet or Wi-Fi, the LLM can connect to a browser as well by using tools, all right? And then similar with software, just like a computer has like a calculator, a media player, an LLM can connect to a calculator, a Python interpreter, or terminal of software development IDE, so to speak, right? And then just as a computer can store data in a file system, an LLM can access something called RAG, which stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation, which is a special kind of database. It's called a vector database that stores information in a way that makes it faster and more accurate for the AI to pull the right answer when needed. All right. So what are some of the limitations? So when a company releases a version of an AI, that release date is the cutoff date for that LLM. So it only knows information up to that date. All right. So if you ask it questions about current affairs, it probably won't have any knowledge of it. So that's one limitation of LLMs. And then the other limitation is that it can hallucinate, meaning that it will state something that it'll sound confident, but it's flat out wrong. So we need to watch out for those things. All right. Then there's the context window. A context window is basically how much information can an LLM hold at one point during a conversation. So if your conversations start getting longer and longer, it will forget the first part of the conversation and just focus on the latter part of it, and that can lead to forgetfulness and things like that, where it'll start hallucinating as well. Okay. And then LLMs don't really understand the way humans do. As I said, they are pattern matchers. They're incredibly good at predicting words, but not truly thinking or reasoning. And they don't have LLMs. They don't have access to external data on its own unless you connect them to a RAG or retrieval augmented generated system. All right. So on top of that, there are other concerns around bias, data privacy, and inconsistent quality as well. But there are workarounds, which we'll talk about. So the bottom line is LLMs are powerful, but knowing these limitations is the first step to using them more effectively. Right? Right, so what are the workarounds to these limitations? For example, with the knowledge cutoff, you can provide it more current content in your prompts, or you can also attach a RAG database to it that will give it, or a browser tool that will give it access to more current information. Okay. Then with hallucinations, you can ask the AI to provide its reasoning on how it came to that information, and then have humans actually verify that the output is correct, and then also do some cross-checking as well. With the context window, what you want to do is if you have a large document, you want to break it down into smaller chunks and then feed it once at a time. And then you can also feed it summarized information as well, which will make it easier for the LLM to process that information. And then for the lack of understanding limitation, you want to give it explicit context. So you want to give it as much context as possible, and then break the task into smaller tasks so that it will, go one step at a time, and then somebody can verify that the steps are working correctly. All right. And with no external data, as we already mentioned, you can connect it to external data sources that can extend the functionality of the LLM. Right. And then these other limitations we're going to talk about are privacy. What you want to do is, if you are really concerned about privacy, you can use your own private enterprise solution, or you can also install an LLM on your personal computer and then run it that way. But it needs to be a powerful computer for it to work properly. All right. You can also anonymize sensitive information and upload it that way, where you can hide, either when it comes to medical records, hide patient names and things like that, and just give it an ID, so to speak, and then do your analysis on that kind of data, okay? Then with bias reflection, making sure that you have a diverse review team and that you're reviewing the outputs for potential bias, okay? And then with inconsistent quality, what you want to do is you want to create a prompt library that your employees can use to copy and paste so that you're using the same prompts and you're not getting too many divergent answers for accomplishing the same task. All right. Any questions so far? John, are there any questions or any hands up?
Nothing's come in.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about the context window. So when you're using AI, you want to keep this in the back of your mind, especially when you feel like the AI is hallucinating a lot. It may be because you've given it a lot of information and that it's not able to process the whole thing. So what is a context window? It's the memory span of an AI model on how much text it can process at one time. All right. So just to give you an example, when the first models came up, it had like a limit of about 50,000 words. Where it's, for example, I just put an illustration here. It's like a Great Gatsby novel, right? That's how many words it could process at one time. And then with the modern models, they're now at around 100K. So it's more than enough to process like a Harry Potter novel, right? And the cutting edge models at 200,000 words or more. And so the bigger the context window, the more the model can remember, and that opens it up to much more powerful use cases. All right. So what affects the context window performance? If you have a very long document that goes beyond the size of its context window, it's going to lose track of earlier instructions. And then you will risk getting inconsistent and incomplete answers or answers that don't make sense. However, the paradox of having a big context window is that the bigger the context window, the more computing power you need, and the more expensive it gets to run such a model. Okay. Okay. So what are the workarounds to this context window challenge? So what you do is you can, as you're having conversations, you can summarize the conversation you've had and then feed it so that now it's processing less amount of information. You can also split big documents into smaller sections and introduce it one at a time. And now the easy way to do is to upload your information into a RAG system, which will then do this automatically for you and give it and so that the AI can easily retrieve the information that it needs in order to satisfy the questions in your prompt. Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is just a fancy term for how to talk to an AI. The way you phrase instructions can make a huge difference in the quality of the answers you get back. So it's a bit like giving directions to a new employee. If you're vague, it will try and guess and may give you a wrong answer. But if you're clear, specific, and structured, the results are much better that way. So in the next few slides, I'm going to cover best practices and simple techniques that will help you get more useful outputs from your AI tools.
Excuse me, Colin.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of questions came in you might want to address.
Okay. Yeah, go
Ed
ahead.
asked, can a developer update the system after it is released?
Can a developer update the system? Sorry, can you clarify what he means by system?
Ed, I'll unmute you if you come on up. You can be a little bit more detailed on that.
Yeah, and if you can give me a scenario, that'd be great.
I don't see him. Well, another one came in while we're waiting for Ed. We discussed how the system prompts work and how they impact the context window. This is from Joe Bologna.
So, okay, let me, what was the question again? Let me look at the chat
Yeah,
here.
will you discuss how system prompts work and how they impact the context window?
Yes, so system prompts also take take up space in the context window as well. So that's part of the thing that takes up space, right? So it's not just what you're typing in that takes up space, but it's also the system's prompt that whoever the LLM provider is may have entered at the system level. Did I answer that question?
I just got Ed on, so this is a previous question now.
Okay, Ed.
Ed, unmute yourself and you're good to go.
All right. What I mean is that a program developer comes out with version 1.0, and then you go to 1.2, and then maybe 2.0.
Yes.
Can the developer of a chat application do that same thing?
Yes, you can. Yeah. So you can connect your code to a repository like a GitHub, right? And have versioning in it. And yes, so did I answer your question? So you can connect it to a GitHub repository and make your changes, and then you can make the decision of when you want to release whenever you're ready. Did that answer your question, Ed?
I think it does.
Okay. Yeah. So there's software like Windsurf, Cursor that are AI IDEs where you can actually prompt it. I will show you an example, and you can connect that to a GitHub repository, and you can have versioning for your whatever software you're developing. Okay. All right. Did that answer your question, Ed?
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. So let's talk about prompt engineering. So when it comes to prompting, there are a few best practices. You want to start with a persona. Basically, in this case, in this example, we're asking it to act as a helpful tutor and with the objective of explaining the process of photosynthesis. And then who is the audience? It's a 14-year-old student. And what's the context? The context is to assist with a biology exam preparation, right? And the boundaries is your answer should be 300 words written in a tone that's friendly and educational. So whenever you're creating a prompt, depending on the complexity of what you're asking it to do, you want to try and use this template so that you get a better output. All right. So whenever you put all these 5 pieces together, you will give the AI a clear frame of work, and the results get much more accurate and useful. Another part of the boundary is you can also ask it what format do you want it in. You can format it in as a CSV file, as actually you can even do it as an Excel file if you want it, or as a JSON file if that's kind of output would be helpful, so that you can use that somewhere else. Okay. All right. So here's the first kind of prompting called zero-shot prompting. It's the simplest kind of prompting where you're just giving the AI an instruction without any examples, and you're relying entirely on the pre-trained knowledge of the LLM. So an example is write a social media post announcing the launch of a new organic skincare line. Keep it engaging and under 150 words. All right. So that's the simplest kind of prompting, which most people probably do. But now we're get more and more advanced with this. It's quite simple though. All right. So now we're going to go into multi-shot prompting, where in addition to the direction you're giving it, you're also providing it examples so that the AI can look at it and then use that to generate better output. So in this case, we're saying, here's an example, a new product alert with emoji there, introducing organic skin line made with natural ingredients for glowing healthcare skin. Try now and get 20% off. and then there's these hashtags, right? And then example 2, right? And so now we're going to tell it, write a social media post using similar tone for the launch of our latest moisturizer. And then it will use this information to create new posts, all right? And then the third type of prompting is the chain of thought prompting, where basically you're asking the LLM to explain its reasoning. So you'll have a prompt here, and somewhere in there, you'll say, explain why you structured it this way. And it'll tell you its reasoning, which will help you go, which, either the reasoning is correct or not, and if it's not, then you can tell the LLM why it's wrong and then add your own reasoning in there. All right. Okay. So now let's talk about agents. So agent is basically an AI system that can take actions on your behalf. So instead of giving you text, it'll actually go out and interact with tools, data sources, and actually accomplish a task. So I will show you an example here. So in this case, this is an agent which takes in reviews from customers. And what it'll do is it'll use the LLM to categorize the review into positive, negative, or neutral, right? So this is where that'll happen. And then it will put that answer, and then it'll save it to a Google Sheets, all right? And then after saving it to a Google Sheet, it will email the owner of the business saying that a new review came in with a subject line of whether it was a positive, negative review. And I will show you this in action right now, okay? So in this case, I'm gonna just put in, I'm just gonna shorten this window so you can actually see how this thing is working. All right. So I'm just gonna say John S here, and then I'm gonna just, let's see, I'm gonna just copy and paste a review so you won't see my bad typing right there. So basically, it's a review for a hotel, okay? So it says, I had an amazing stay at this hotel. The room was spotless. The staff was incredibly friendly, and the breakfast buffet was one of the best I've ever had, right? I'll definitely be coming back and recommending it to my friends, right? So I'm going to submit it. And then you can see in the system how it processed. So it showed you how it went through. And then this Google Sheet is, I'll click this open to show you, and there's John S. with that review showing up. It categorizes this as a positive review, and that's the review that he posted. And in my inbox, let's see here, I'm just going to open up that email. Okay. So you can see the review, new review by John S. positive, and it then shows you the actual review that he received in his email. Okay. So I'll just try another one here with, let's see, a neutral one, just so you can see how that works. Or a different type of, so in this case, I'll just say Peter P. And then I'm going to post a neutral review here. Okay, the hotel was fine for a quick overnight stay. The room had everything I needed, but nothing really stood out. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't particularly memorable either, right? So I'm going to submit this, and then it'll process that. And then again, I'll check my document there, and it categorized that one as neutral, all right? So it just added this new entry into my Google Sheet. And then when I look at my email, which is where inbox. I'm just going to refresh my inbox here. And then, there's the it shows you a new review by Peter P. Neutral, and then the actual review, right? So you can format this in any way, which way you want, so that it's helpful to you, right? And then in this Google Sheet, I can then use it to, create a chart of how many positive reviews. If they're negative reviews, I can ask the AI of what were the common themes for the negative review, or with the positive reviews, what are people liking most about a hotel? All right. Okay. So this is the sentiment analyzer agent that I just showed you. So it can go from something as simple as this to more complex system like this, where you input all your information about your business, and then it'll help you actually create content for your social media, right? Including creating images and things like that, and then also publishing it to different social media platforms. Okay. All right. So next, we're going to go over the 6 big categories where AI can really make an impact for small and medium-sized businesses. And they include content creation, data analysis, process automation, personalization, knowledge management, and decision support. So over the next few slides, I'll work through each one with examples, so you can see how these categories translates into everyday business use cases.
Excuse me, Colin.
Yes.
A couple of questions came in. I think
Yeah.
we're in a good section here.
Okay.
First, Joe Bologna. In fact, turn your mic on, Joe. You're okay to talk. After that, Francis has got a good
Okay.
question about
Hey,
issue
Joe.
development.
Hi.
Hello.
So I'm fairly familiar with this, but I was curious about, how to prevent hallucinations. And what I'm not sure about is if the system prompt, because it takes up space in the context,
Yes.
does it ever go out of scope? Like if I give a bunch of data and I exceed the context, does the system prompt stay there? And the hallucination occurs because of what is done entered by the user, or does it?
It's not it's not always by the user, and it's not it doesn't always have to be about the context window either. It can just hallucinate on, it's just probability, right?
Right.
We are just trying to minimize that by giving it better context, right? So by
Okay.
giving it the right amount of information, the right amount of examples,
Right.
to lower the probability of a hallucination.
Okay. So follow up on that. What I've been doing a lot is I've been asking the LLM to just improve my prompt.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yep. So that's
Right.
another thing that's quite meta, right? So after you get to the right answer, sometimes what I will do is, if I were to try this from scratch, what would have been the most effective prompt, right? So now you can
Right.
use that and then start a new thread or new chat and use that
Right.
as your starting point. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Good point.
Thanks.
Yeah. And
Hey,
Francis? Yeah.
yeah, Francis had a question.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I
Hey,
just was
Francis.
wondering for that sentiment analysis,
Yes.
agent breakdown, what tool did you use for that to
Okay.
those
That tool is called N8N, N as in Norton, the number 8, and N as in Norton.
copy? Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to
Okay,
talk
that's it.
about, go ahead. Was anybody
No,
else?
no, that's it for
Okay.
now. So,
All right. So let's talk about content creation. And I will show you examples of this later on in the demo section as well. So basically, this is a huge use case for AI, where it can generate marketing content, blog posts, social media updates, and also help you with creating product description. All right. So it can also help draft and personalize emails, create proposals, reports, and even repurpose like existing content into smaller content that's easily digestible, right? So the key idea here is that AI can help you create more content faster and in different formats without really needing a full marketing team now. Okay. Right. And then the next big category is data analysis and insights. So AI can help small businesses make sense of their data that would otherwise take hours to process. So it can identify patterns in customer behavior, analyze sales trends, and even forecast what's likely to happen next. So it can also summarize market research and compare competitor data and interpret financial data in plain language for you. So instead of drowning in spreadsheets and reports, the AI, you can just query your documents and get the insights in plain language, plain English, right? And then the next category we're going to talk about is process automation. Just like the example I showed you with the sentiment analyzer, AI can take over your routine work, repetitive tasks, processing documents, extracting information, handling invoices and receipts, and then take it to the next level to do something useful with it. Okay. It can also help with scheduling, managing your calendar, qualify leads, and then route them to the appropriate person, and updating your databases as well. So these are kind of jobs that don't require really much creativity, but can eat up a lot of your time. So by automating them, it reduces errors and frees up you and your time to focus on the work that really moves the business forward. The next category is personalization. So AI can help you tailor the experience for each customer. It can recommend products based on past purchases, also then creating targeted marketing messages. It can go deeper where it can personalize your interactions based on how someone interacted with your website or your social media posts, and you can then send them, the most relevant information based on that. Okay, so it's as if it's a personal touch, so to speak. And then knowledge management. So basically, it can help your business organize all the information, and then your employees can then ask questions of the information in there, such as training. It can ask get FAQs, and then also any policy procedures as well. Okay. And then decision support. I've used it for vendor selection, for strategic planning, risk assessment, resource allocation, and for pricing optimization suggestions. Okay. Any questions so far?
Nothing's come up.
Okay. All right. So now that we've looked at the exciting use cases, now we'll actually start putting AI into our business, right? So how do we get this in our business? The key thing is to think of implementation as a step-by-step process, not something you have to do all at once. So you start small, experiment, and then you build up on top of that. So in the next few slides, we'll walk through prerequisites you'll want to have in place first, and then a roadmap for rolling out AI in a way that's realistic and effective for a small or medium-sized business. Okay. So before you dive in, there are a few requisites we need. You want to have clearly defined problems so that you can easily tell the AI what problem you're solving for. That's where you're kind of setting the context, right? And then you want to have clearly documented process. So then you can create workflows based on those processes. You saw the workflow example for the sentiment analyzer, right? So if you have documented processes, then you can follow that and create your AI workflow. And then setting a realistic budget for tools and giving employees enough time to train on how to best use AI as well. And the cost of these tools are rapidly dropping, so that it's not a major factor, but giving your employees enough time for training and for trying experiments, you want to look into that. Right? So how do you implement it, right? So first you want to crawl. You want to start small, pick 2 or 3 time-consuming tasks that don't require much creativity, like data entry, and then take these basic tools and then measure how much time you're saving because of that. Okay. And then in the walk stage, you want to then expand to customer-facing content, but humans are still reviewing it. And then you want to start integrating AI with the existing business tools and train your team on effective prompting so that they get more consistent results. And then in the run stage, this is when you're comfortable with AI, and then now you're implementing customized workflows. You're connecting AI directly to your business data sources, like your CRM, and then you're creating measurement systems so that you can track performance and outcomes. Okay. So the key takeaway is don't run before you can crawl. Start small, learn as you go, and then scale up once you see results. All right. So you guys ready for some demos? Okay. So let's see here. All right. Okay. So now I want to show you a demo of something I actually created. I created a course called Memory Builder for Kids, and it was designed to help children use memory techniques to learn faster, retain information better. So, and here's how I used it. So basically how I started with this was I actually copied and pasted all the text from my website. Okay, and I just pasted it in here, right? And then I also pasted the outline of my course in here as well. Again, providing it better context, okay? And then what I asked it was to create Facebook posts based on that. And I'm just going to scroll down here. Don't mind me. So these are real life examples of how you can use it. You can use AI to create Facebook posts. And here are some examples, right? So I'll just read one. Unlock your child's potential, introducing Memory Builder for Kids, a course that equips kids with memory techniques for success in school and beyond, boost performance, enhance grades, and foster a love of learning. Enroll now, right? And so I asked you for 10 different Facebook posts, and this is an example of what it came up with. Also, you want to review them, and then you can copy and paste this into whatever system you want, okay? You can also ask to export this to an Excel or a file where you can then import it into whatever system you want next, right? So that's how you can generate content. Then another tool is NotebookLM, which is a Google tool where you can upload your own documents, and then you can actually create flashcards, mind maps, quizzes, things like that. So if you're a teacher, this is like godsend for you, right? You can actually also create actually a study guide as well, I think, in here. So here's an example of what a mind map looks like. So I can click on this. I uploaded my course content and marketing content, and then I can see the breakdown of what that looks like. Okay, this is all automatically generated from the content I uploaded into NotebookLM. Okay. Right. And then, yes, yeah, it is mind-blowing. So, and one of the awesome features here is it can actually generate an audio overview for your product as well. So if you click on edit here, I actually did, in this case, like a live conversation between two hosts, it's like a podcast, right? and I will show you an example of what it created for Memory Builder for Kids, okay? So in this case, I generated the audio, and then I uploaded the audio into a video creator, and you'll see what that looks like. So I'll just play this briefly, all right? So this is all generated, the audio is generated by NotebookLM.
All right, so let's dive into something that might just change how you think about learning, especially when it comes to kids.
Okay.
Ever wish those multiplication tables or memorizing all 50 states could be well fun?
It does sound kind of crazy, right? But that's exactly what this program Memory Builder for Kids, or MB4K, claims to do.
Right.
And you've sent over some fascinating material on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what I find so compelling? It wasn't some big education company that cooked this up.
Mm-hmm.
This program started with a parent just trying to help his own son, William.
That's what's so fascinating here.
Yeah.
This dad facing that pandemic homeschooling challenge,
Oh, yeah.
realized the memory techniques he'd learned later in life for his MBA and certifications
Right.
could actually work for a kindergartner.
Okay, that's kind of wild. What kind of results are we talking about here? Was this kid suddenly reciting Shakespeare?
Pretty close. William was doing multiplication and division before second grade, and he had all 50 states memorized in alphabetical order.
Okay, so that's an example of an audio overview by just uploading your content, okay? And this goes on for 7 minutes, and it's, when the first time I saw it, I was floored by it, okay? So that's another use case. And then another use case is, I want to basically, I built this for my wife, who's a psychotherapist. So therapists typically spend a huge amount of time after each session writing notes, what are called SOAP notes. It stands for subjective, objective, assessment, and plan. So it's basically a formatted note for that for psychotherapists. And she spent a lot of time. She spends a lot of time writing these notes at the end of the day. So what I was able to do was create a thing for her where she can just paste in, or she can actually dictate on a phone, and it'll generate a SOAP note for her, right? That she can then copy and paste into her electronic health record system. So this now, something that would take her an hour and a half, now takes her 15 minutes for all her clients. Okay. Right. And then here's another example of like a voice AI assistant. So it's a client calling in to find out about a product, okay? And this total interaction is with an AI chatbot, voice chatbot, okay?
Yeah, my name is John, and I'm calling in from Los Angeles. How can I assist you today? Are you interested in learning more about the no-code architects community, the content engine database, or would you like to schedule a call for more detailed information? I was calling about the content engine database. Is that for agencies or for solopreneurs? I'd be happy to tell you about the content engine database. It's designed to be versatile and can be used by both agencies and solopreneurs. Actually, at this point, what I'm really looking for is, what is the price of the content engine database? The content engine database Extreme is priced at $4,500. This is a one-time fee that gives you access to the full system. Actually, I'd really love to book a demo with somebody to go into some of the details. Here are some options for you. One, Monday, March 17th, 2025. We have slots available from 11 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Pacific time. Can we do Monday? Let's book your demo for Monday, March 17th, 2025 at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'll go ahead and schedule that for you now. To confirm the booking, I'll need your email address. Yeah, it is. Yeah, my name is...
Okay, so that's an example of a voice assistant that takes care of this kind of process for you. So you're not spending too much time answering the phone calls, right? And this information came in from your CRM. It's connected to your calendar. It's connecting to your pricing table. It's connected to your product description and all that stuff, right? And it's helping you offload the work that would normally be done by either a business owner or somebody who specializes in this. All right. Then the next example is, okay, so this is a famous iconic picture of builders that were creating, I think, a skyscraper in New York, and I asked it to animate this image, right? And here's the result. Okay, so that's a photo that you can animate. Then I also tried this with the famous picture of Einstein. So you can take a static image and animate it. Okay. So another use case that I've used it for is for interior design. I had a hard time with the interior designer we hired, and I just wanted to do it myself after that. And I just wanted to know what's the best color. If I were to use this color, what would that look like? And so here's the image of the room that we wanted painted, and I asked it, use these colors for the wainscoting, and then the Sherwin-Williams sea salt color for the wall above the chair rails. And so I could actually get a preview of what that color would look like in the same room, right? Which my interior designer couldn't do. She gave me mood boards, which didn't really give me a good sense of, should I be spending tens of thousands of dollars on painting the whole house in this color? It's a huge risk. I want to see a preview of what that would look like, right? Right. So this is another software that I built. So basically, I enjoy travel and doing photography. So I wanted to create like a travel blog based on the photographs I've taken. So I came up with the idea of, what if I uploaded my images that I took with my phone? So whenever you take an image with a phone, it has what's called an EXIF information, which has location information, the date and time that you took it. And what I asked it to do was to extract that information and create a blog article from the images. Okay, so I'm going to select some photos here. So these were images I took during a day in Portugal, and here's the result of what it was able to generate. So I asked it to create a map, okay, and then having markers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in order, chronological order, so that's the map. And then I asked it to write a blurb on each point of interest. And that's what it did, all right? And now I can use this, edit it if I need to, and then post it to my travel journal or travel website. All right. And then here's another example of a fully AI generated ad. Okay, so this is a fully AI generated ad. Okay.
In just 2 days, you can learn how to create incredible content with AI. No expensive cameras or complicated software. With the right tools, you can create any visual you can imagine. You can build businesses with AI. There's no limit to what you can do. You can work smarter and faster than ever before. The problem is, most people are overwhelmed by AI. They don't know where to start. They don't know what tools to use. And they don't know how to get results that blow people away. This is why thousands of people have enrolled in the AI Creator course by contentcreator.com for less than the price of a dinner date with your grandma.
All right, so that's an example of using AI to generate a full video for your product or services. Okay. All right. Any questions so far?
The only question that came in is from Sherry. In fact, let me find you here, Sherry, and I can unmute you. She just wants to know simply, how do you access AI? And you have to purchase it. So
How do you
go
access
ahead.
AI? Okay. So
Yeah,
the
go
most
ahead, Sherry. Unmute yourself, Sherry, and maybe you can get it to you have a follow-up question on that. Follow-up comments.
okay,
Yeah,
Sherry.
I just, okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay, I wanted to know, is it like a software or, because I know I was trying to do grants and I had to, once my like trial was over with, I had to purchase it. So
Okay.
I was trying to see, is it like a software I have to
No,
purchase?
I'll show an example here. So basically you go to OpenAI, chat.openai, and then you can create an account. There's different tiers. There's a free tier, there's a paid tier for like $20 a month, right? And then there's a higher tier for $200 a month, right? Depending
Okay,
on what you want to accomplish. For what you want to do, I would suggest either the free or the $20 one. The
okay,
$20 one will probably perform much better than the free version. And I will also show you a free way to get of how to get it for free actually. If so basically Perplexity has a promotion. If you have a PayPal account, you can get Perplexity Pro for free, right? And you can draft a grant on using Perplexity Pro as well. And with Perplexity Pro, you can actually select which model you want to use. You can actually select ChatGPT as well. So if I do that, I think one of these, I just installed this. I usually use ChatGPT. Okay, GPT-5. So here, you can select different models here. You can use Gemini. So these are the latest models over here.
okay,
GPT-5. So for free, if you have a PayPal account, you can get it for free for a year.
okay. I don't have PayPal, so I have to go and try to get that.
Yeah, you can
PayPal.
try that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's what I wanted to, I'm all new at this, so I'm learning everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Like Eric, I'm literally having an anxiety attack. This is so amazing. It's everything. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Any other questions?
Nothing has come in. The only one was Sherry and of course Eric's comment. So but please continue.
Actually, okay, yeah. Let's see here. I'm almost near at the last slide, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it's about questions. I just, this is I just wanted to let you, like, this is the worst that AI can do. It's just going to keep getting better and easier and more natural to use, where you won't need to be, even now, you don't have to be as technical to use it, right? And, if you have any questions, you can always contact me. And I offer coaching, consulting, and also implement solutions for businesses as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
I have a question that came in from Aiken. Hold on, Aiken, let me unmute you. Okay, Aiken, please unmute your mic. You're good to go.
I have computer with AI. What else do I need to do, or is there any software I need to buy in order to start using AI?
You don't need to buy, as I mentioned, you can use I'm sorry, I'm assuming, I'm just gonna repeat the question. Are you saying you need a certain kind of software to use AI?
Yeah, but my computer already comes with AI.
Yes. Okay, so depending on what system you're using, if it's a Windows, it's probably using Copilot or something like that.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So Copilot, I would not recommend using right now. It's just, frustrating as
Okay.
an experience. I find I'm most in the flow when I'm using ChatGPT. So I would highly recommend using that for, for problem solving. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Cheryl, you had a question?
Yes, I'm very interested in how you do the animation of the pictures, and I'm just
Okay.
wondering,
So
can you give
basically,
me
it was in Perplexity. I think actually you can also do it in ChatGPT.
Okay.
Let's see, where was that? So, here, this is the prompt I used. I basically uploaded the image, and I said, "This is the iconic image of Einstein having fun while sticking out his create a video as if you were capturing this fun moment. Do you understand what I mean?" And it actually just did it.
Wow.
So, yeah. And in this one, I just said animate this image, and it created like an awesome pan, a parallax thing of this image. So yeah.
Do you think it
And
could
and I think it was easier to do it in this than compared to a Google product. I think Google tends to be more strict, um, and it wouldn't do it.
Question. Please provide more
Oops,
information.
my phone just listened in on me. Yeah, so I found Perplexity to be better for this. So I find different platforms are better for certain things, but in general, ChatGPT will do 95% of what you're trying to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A statement came in from Eric Moore about ChatGPT told him that I can't animate. At first it could,
Yeah.
then it referred him to DID. So Eric, let me unmute you.
Let me see if I can do this on the fly live. Can you animate an image if I upload it? Okay, so let me try and add one here. Okay, it might take a while.
You can unmute Eric if you like. Get a little bit more detail than what you went through.
Make a stone move in and out in a loop, adding a blinking eye, applying to face a turning. Okay, let's try the GIF style loop. GIF style loop. I could probably also tell it exactly what I want the image to do as well. So this could take, 30 seconds to a minute to probably generate it while we're waiting. If there's any other questions, I can answer that.
One other question came in from Rishma, I'm sorry, and from Sharon. As a beginner, what AI would you recommend?
Reshma, okay. Sorry, what was the question again? I'm not seeing it in the chat.
Yeah, from Sharon. As a beginner, what AI would you recommend?
ChatGPT, yeah. It's the most user-friendly. Yeah, see, now this is a hallucination here because it's not animated unless I download it, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, this is just an image. So I would suggest if you're trying to create that, use Perplexity, because that was it did it on a first try. So yeah, and what Perplexity will do is actually it will go to the best model actually to accomplish what you want. So yeah.
Okay,
Charisma.
Colin, Teresa had a question. If you use ChatGPT for the video with scheduling of appointments, if so, can you show us how you did it?
So that is a very complex, so that's using something like N8N, right? So something like this, right? It's a more complex workflow because you're connecting it to different systems and also a voice chat. So it's not ChatGPT. It's a N8N, but you're using a ChatGPT OpenAI chat model to do that. Okay. So it's more complex than using just ChatGPT like through the browser. Okay. So you'd have to set that up in a system like this. You'd have to have a workflow. So you see how this is connected to Google Sheets and Gmail, right? You'd have to set up those connections so that the AI can answer the appropriate questions at the right time. Okay. So Eric says, I think the photo worked for him on Perplexity. Okay, yeah. So,
Thank you very much. I have a lot to study then.
you're welcome.
Yeah, Sharon had a question pretty much on any curriculum that might be out there. She's a beginner. Sharon, I'm going to unmute you to see if.
Yeah, I would just do a search on YouTube for basic tutorial on any in Perplexity or ChatGPT. It's honestly like in the beginning, it's not, you're just playing with questions and seeing what it comes back with, right? And as I mentioned to, I think it was Ed, if you end up with the right answer, you want to then ask it, hey, if I were to start from scratch, what would have been the best prompt? And you learn that way, right? And then also using the prompt engineering slide that we talked about earlier, I would start there, right? And then figure out what you want to accomplish, and then give it the proper context, ask it to act as a role, right? And then it will give you much better answers. So it's not honestly that advanced. You just need to break it down into simple bite-sized things.
You have a follow-up question, Sharon? Oh, you got some noise from you, Sharon, but I can't understand you. Something must be wrong with her mic. Okay, that's all the questions that came in, Colin.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, John, for giving me the opportunity to present and also score for providing such a forum and for the great job it does. So thank you.
You're very welcome, Colin. You're
And
a
I hope the
valuable
audience
asset.
found it useful and they can start using it immediately in their businesses.
If anybody has any follow-up questions, put your last slide up if you could, Colin.
Sure, yeah.
Please, if you don't mind being contacted directly, please do so. If not, you're welcome to go to score.org and find the Fox Valley chapter. I think it's still under Fox Valley and it hasn't changed its name yet to Land of Lincoln. But if you put that in and refer to this particular webinar, we'll get you in touch with Colin.
Actually, even my website was generated with AI. So like here's an example of what AI can generate for you, right? And I'm not the best designer. I do make websites in WordPress, but I wanted something, you know, more eye-catching. And AI was able to help me in this. I was able to create this in an hour. For the developers out there, I used Windsurf, which is an IDE that looks like it. And I can chat with Windsurf and ask it and tell it what I wanted to build, right? So for the people who do development, you know, you can check out an IDE like Windsurf, Visual Studio, or Cursor, and do that as well.
Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their evening and close to the middle of the week to attend this. And please, you're invited back to attend any seminar, but please keep in mind that we charge $10 per webinar from now on, well, starting October 1st. So please keep that in mind, and you will be receiving emails for what's coming up, because we do have a lot of good subjects on our docket. But if there's no other questions, I just want to thank everybody sincerely for taking time. And please contact SCORE if you require a mentor, or you'd like to talk to a mentor about an idea or something that you feel we may have expertise in if you go through our roster. So thank you, everyone. And Colin, thank you. I really appreciate the time.
All right.
Okay. Bye
Bye,
now.
everyone. Have a great evening.